Right.
Yeah, but in a good way.
I think it's Happy Monday holiday. I get to see faces that I normally don't get to see on Monday morning, so I'm glad you're here. Margaret's visiting. So thank you guys for showing up. It's been nice to see the studio building this year. And it's nice to see faces coming back, that I haven't seen in a while. And congrats to Kathy for getting married. So today, I'm struggling a little bit because my boyfriend played at the Opry last night, and we didn't go to bed till like 2:30.
Oh my God.
So I feel like I have, even though I only had one drink at 7 o'clock, I feel like I have a freaking hangover. But it'll be better once I get moving and breathing. I have not been doing the chakra series in the Monday classes. I've been doing them on my Wednesday, Thursday classes, but I wanted to bring one up today, only because I had 3 random last minute Reiki sessions last week, and this was one thing that kind of kept showing up in the Reiki sessions, but it's also where I'm going this week with the 5th chakra. And the 5th chakra is called Vishuddha, and it means purify or purification. And if you look at the throat and neck region, it's that kind of small passageway between the head and the heart. The lower 3 chakras, without getting too detailed, are more about physical earthly matters, even though there's a spiritual lesson and obviously emotions that can come into play. And the heart center is the one right in the middle of the 7 main ones that we mentioned with the astral spine. And the heart center is the one of integration, where the Shiva and Shakti are divine masculine and feminine urge. It's where we strike balance and experience serenity and have love, compassion spring up in the heart. So when we start to move beyond the heart, it moves into the higher, more spiritual centers. And so the throat center is an important one. It ties back in a lot with the 2nd chakra, actually. Because the 2nd chakra, we talk about creativity and awakening that dormant, creative life force energy, those creative juices. But the place here at the throat is where we have creative expression. So that creative expression can come out in different ways. We talked about beauty and art stemming from the heart, but that beauty and art needs to be expressed. So it can be expressed through song, through voice, through poetry, through writing, through spoken word. This is where we hopefully are embracing, listening, and hearing, and speaking, and living our truth. So it's about truthfulness, honesty, integrity, and whether or not we're lining up with that. So last week I'll share a couple of the Reiki sessions, and one of the Reiki sessions was a gentleman I literally had just met, and when I met him, he was like, "Oh, you do Reiki?" He was like, "I've been talking to someone in Nashville, another gentleman," and he goes, "For some reason, I just haven't been able to make the appointment." And he literally found me the next day online and made an appointment right away. And he was like, "I don't know, I just feel like I can trust you with this." And so I didn't know this guy from Adam. I didn't know anything about him. I didn't know his career, anything. And when I started working on him energetically, this is what I want to explain. My intuitive hits through Reiki come from knowing the chakras so well. Because whatever information I'm getting from a certain part of the body, and whatever little visions or messages I'm getting, it always relates back to the chakras. So we have to remember that the body stores and holds memory, the body holds and stores emotion, and the body holds and stores information. It could be about your past, it could be about your present. But anyway, when I was working at his ears, his right ear, it was like seething, radiating. I mean, it was literally just like blowing out to my hand. I was like, okay, what other male entity are you really upset with right now? And he about jumped off the table. What are you talking about? And I'm like, you really need to, or express something to a man. I don't know what it's about, but I can tell you're really angry and upset about something. And he started to share that he had been through cancer, was in remission, and he was doing well. But he had been rear-ended by an 18-wheeler truck recently. And he was having like massive headaches coming and going. And he was also having a lot of numbness in his forearm. So it was making it very difficult to do some of his favorite poses, like down dog and plank. And he on plow. He loves plow pose. Well, he obviously has some sort of impingement going on with the nerve in his neck, which is affecting that course down his arm. And when he started going to the doctor to explain what was going on, the doctor didn't believe it. The doctor thought he was trying to pull some insurance fraud and wasn't listening to him. And I guess it, just being looked at in general, it's like, well, I don't see anything wrong with you. It's just kind of like pushing to the side. And he said, for the last few days, I have been stomping around my house, raging in my house, thinking how I can have this conversation with this doctor. He was like, I've been so enraged in my home that my cat's hearing me and runs through me right now. And that was what I was sensing. And then another one, it was a woman who, it was all about the throat chakra, speaking her truth, living her truth. And she had just decided on Valentine's Day she was going to file for divorce. Her marriage had not been well, and she had actually separated from the guy 10 years before. And she had determined, okay, I tried to make a vow after again, nothing's changed. My children are now older. Now it's time to consider what I want and to set us both free. So basically, my point, I'm not going to get too detailed in the throat chakra, other than to say, are we really being honest with ourselves? And when you're being honest with others, are they hearing you? And also, the throat chakra is about speaking up for yourself and others, and when you don't have a voice. So last night at the Opry, it was a memorial for Leslie Jordan. And so there were like 15 artists there. All of them got up to speak on top of singing. It was supposed to be a 3-hour concert that turned into 4. Because everyone just has so much love they wanted to kind of share with the audience about their friendships and their interactions with Leslie Jordan. And by the end of it, Eddie Vedder came out, and I didn't realize Eddie Vedder and Leslie were really tight. They worked together on this nonprofit called EB. It's EB. Have you ever heard of this disease? I've never heard of this disease either, but it strikes children, and it has to do with like paper thin skin, and so they get injured really, really easily. They're like as fragile as butterfly wings. But they showed this clip of this little boy, Eli. He was just a little gem, and he tries to educate people on this condition. And he carries a sign around that instead of people staring at him, he's like, come say hi, come talk to me. And then he'll talk about his condition. But if you haven't heard of that, I thought it was great that they brought that into play last night, because everybody around me was like, you've heard of this, but they almost have a cure for it. They are so close to getting a cure for it, which is fantastic. They're thinking by May or June, there will be a cure, because they've made so many headways with it. But anyway, think of throat chakra today. We're going through the practice. Ujjayi breathing is great for the chakra. I have used it medicinally when I've had laryngitis or when I've lost my voice. It works, you guys. It does help. And that's that kind of light snoring breath or oceanic breath, where you constrict the back of your throat, let the breath become audible here. So let's go ahead and start on our backs. You're going to want a block close by. And we're going to be working around the block in the floor of the body. And hopefully that'll make sense to you when we get there. If not, you can look forward towards me and check out what I'm
And place your hands lightly on your abdomen. Now, if it feels better to straighten your legs out, you can. Either way, just check in with your body to notice what you're bringing to the mat with you today. Be sure to stay extra mindful when we get to the areas of the body that may be causing you any grief or pain. Because at times we need to approach poses a little differently. So cater to your needs. That is practicing satya, another word for truthfulness, honesty, and integrity. With your hands resting on your core, just take a few deep breaths. Feel the belly swell and expand as you breathe in. Retract and deflate as you breathe out. And then go ahead and start to activate the Ujjayi pranayama. I know this is a breath we often do when we're doing sun salutations, but really you can do this breath at any time. Since active listening is a part of the throat chakra, this gives you an opportunity to hear your own breath. On your next inhale, I want you to roll your hip bones towards your thighs by swaying the low back. This is going to 6. And as you exhale, you're going to zip up through the midline, flattening the low back to 12. So imagine there's a clock at the belly, rolling towards the pubic bone to 6. And then exhaling, zipping up to 12 towards the base of your ribs. Do it one more time this way. It's like a little mini cat-cow on your back. And then we're going to add in the side obliques a little bit. So inhale, roll to 6. Exhale, cross it to the right to 9. Bring it up to 12. Over and across to the left to 3. And then back to 6. To 9. To 12. To 3. To 6. Let's reverse it. To 3 to the left. Up to 12. Right to 9. And back down to 6. Work around the clock again to 3. To the 12, to the 9, to the 6. All right, now let's grab our block. We're going to set that block in between the thighs. And ensure that you're not crawling your heels too close to your sits bones. Hold that block pretty firmly. Bring your arms down beside you, palms face down. And then roll your shoulders to slightly tuck them under to build up through the cavity of your chest. And then press the soles of the feet into the mat to energetically lift up to Setu Bandhasana bridge pose. Pressing into the mounds of the big toes. Feeling your thighs rolling in to contain the block. Feeling the activation of your hamstrings, your glutes, your back muscles. And then I want us to explore, is it possible to lean to one arm, to tuck the other shoulder under a bit more, and then lean into the tucked shoulder and tuck the other a bit more. Push your knees towards the front wall and allow your chest to lift upward towards your chin. If that's too much, please do less. Take a couple more deep breaths in and out through your nose. Maybe even listening to the song of the soul, the sound of the breath. Knowing that the breath can create purification for the mind, for the body, for the emotions, for the spirit. Affirming, I offer every thought as a bridge to divine grace. On your next exhalation, slide your shoulders apart. Roll down one vertebra at a time. And then hover your feet just barely off the floor. Bring your arms open to the goddess arms or cactus arms. And let your knees roll a few inches to the left. Come back through center and a few inches over to the right. Continue to move left on the inhale and rock them right on the exhale. Do it one more round. Inhale to the left, helping to massage the glutes and the piriformis. Exhaling to the right. And when you bring it back through center, go ahead and descend the feet to the floor, taking the block away between the knees. Now go ahead and fan your knees open, soles of the feet together. And take a few deep breaths here. Slide your hands down to your hip points. And see if you feel the movement in the lower part of your belly as you breathe. With the Ujjayi breath, you may feel like you're filling up the chest a bit more, and that's okay. But now slip your hands up underneath your low back and feel how there's a little bit of a curvature here with the hips opening wide. Let's take one last deep breath. Climb down ankle. And then go ahead and flutter the knees back up towards the ceiling. Draw them in towards your side ribs so your thighs are separating, your feet look towards the sky. Take your hands up to hold the outer edges of the feet. And then gently pull the feet downward, which slides the knees downward, which opens up the inner thighs and hips more. Now you're using your hands at this point to pull down on the feet, but in this position, you'll discover that the low back starts to flatten down. So you guys didn't tell me or remind me that I had a piece of selenite crystal sitting in my shirt. I don't know if y'all saw it. I was like, what is that? I was like, oh yeah. I felt so like hungover, like not really, not literally hungover, energetically hungover on the drive here. I put it in there. I'm like, clear me. All right, one more deep breath. All right, exhale, let's release. Let's sink the feet back down to the mat. Okay, we're gonna do one more warm up before we stand. Fly your right leg skyward. Place your hands behind the back of your right thigh. And then jut the heel upward and spill the toes downward. And then check in with your flexibility. Maybe you're limber enough to take the hand hold to your calf. Maybe it's possible to link the peace mudra around the big toe. But remember, the thing for today, are you being honest with yourself and where you should be? Because our practice does change day to day, week to week. Now see what changes when you slide the left leg down the lane of your mat, pushing out through that heel, tightening up through the knee and the quads on that bottom leg. Be honest on whether or not you need to back off from the stretch with your top leg. All right, good. Now slide your left leg back and bring your right foot down. Let's take supine Padangusthasana to the other side. Lift the left foot up. Link your hands behind your thigh. That dorsiflexion in the ankle. Test the waters to see whether or not your body allows to go up to the calf. Remember, there's no intention to be anywhere in particular. Maybe hooking around the big toe if that's a probability. Keep yogic breathing. And then exhale, let's slide the right foot out. Test the waters here. Push down to the right thigh bone, press out to the right ankle, spread open through the toes. And then when you're ready, slide your right foot back, lower the left foot down. We'll turn over to one side of the body and we'll come up to stand. Now we're going to get into more of a standing flow here. And let's start off just grounding the feet, looking down to stack ankle bones, knees, and hip bones. Hands to prayer position at the heart. And then on your next inhale, circle the arms wide and up overhead. Link your hands together to that temple mudra. It's really Kali or Jupiter mudra. Shrug the shoulders up towards your ears and hug the head with your arms. Keep plugging the feet down and exhale, curve right. Best way to ensure that you're in good alignment with the pose is checking in with your breath. Is the breath readily available? And then inhale back up to the top. Exhale, let's take it off to the left side, forming this crescent moon shape. Inhale right back up. Exhale, hands come back down to the heart. All right, let's start our sun salves. Inhale, take the arms to your sides and up overhead. Exhale, bring the palms together and fold right down through the middle. Checking in with your body to see if it feels better to have the legs elongated or knees bent. And let your heart and head gravitate a little lower. Inhale, slide your hands up your shins or thighs. Reach out through your crown, look out with the eyes. And then exhale, fold back in. Inhale, let's step back, plank. Now when you come to plank pose, stack your arm bones and joints. Make sure the belly's hugging in, your thighs are plugging up towards the sky. And on your next exhalation, we're gonna go ahead and descend down to the knees. Drop them under the hips and untuck your toes. Your arms are gonna walk out to puppy pose. And it's okay if you step off your mat here. Don't worry about that. But you want your belly suctioning in, your rib cage woven inside of your skin, your ears alongside the upper arm bones. Now look at the angle or feel the angle of your neck with the rest of the spine. And you're kind of looking to that halfway point between your face and your knees. But on the exhalation, we're gonna breathe out and drop down towards the chest and chin without putting any weight on the chin. And then inhale, draw back up, puppy. And then exhale, come down and look out, Anahatasana. Inhale again, lifting up through the pits of the arms, the abdomen, and then exhale, surrender sweetly towards the floor. Let's do 2 more. So you can do this with either a cleansing breath or that Ujjayi Pranayama. And then inhale, slowly lift back up. Slide your hands back underneath your shoulders. And we're gonna do a half chaturanga here, meaning we're gonna shift the torso forward, bending the arms, and only come down the degree where you feel your strength. And then push right back up to defy gravity and rock back into extended child's pose. So I had a woman question me about this the other day, and she was like, this is just so hard for me. She was trying to go super low to the ground. She didn't have the strength to do that. It's okay if you just go a little smidge of the way and then push right back up. Okay, so that's where your honesty is with yourself. Coming down, building up on the in-breath, and sliding back on the out-breath. Let's do this a couple more rounds. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, bend the elbows. Again, honor the strength that you have in your upper body without taxing your muscles or overspending yourself energetically. Good. On your next inhale, just stretch out through the fingertips and feel the elongation for the underside of the arms. Receive all that traction through your back. And be aware that you don't always have to force the forehead to the floor. If it wants to hover, if that's more comfortable, then hover. I'm getting to the point where I'm hovering here. It's a new season for me. All right, inhale, rock forward, hands, knees. Exhale and curl your toes, lift up the back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. The same principle can apply here. You can have your knees bent. They don't have to be perfectly straight. In fact, if you have tight hamstrings, I wouldn't suggest it. Because the idea here is the ascension of the energy and lifting high up through your hips. All take a deep breath in. Exhale, breathe it out. And then find your way to the front side of the mat, whether it's meditationally walking, lunging, or floating, yogi's choice. Coming halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale, bow out. Inhale, coming all the way up. Coming to Urdhva Hastasana at the top. And then exhale, bringing hands back down to the heart. All right, we're going to focus on this standing form of Tadasana. So bringing the arms back up. Make sure the feet are pressing down, the thighs are rolling in. And you should receive a natural lift through the abdomen with the arms overhead. Now try to maintain that core engagement as you bring the hands down, as you fold and hinge from your hips, eventually separating the hands as you bow out. Inhale, lift halfway up. Good, exhale, roll back down. Uttanasana. Inhale, let's step back to plank. From plank pose, you're pushing the ground away from you with your hands. Your arms should be as strong as columns, holding up your body. Try not to droop the head down. Head stays up. And on your next exhalation, rock forward, lower down to chaturanga this time if possible. Otherwise, feel free to bend the knees. Inhale, bring it to upward facing dog. Exhale, roll it back, downward facing dog. It's a new moon, so if you feel low energetically, that could be partial reason. Inhale, come forward, plank. Exhale, come forward, lower down, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, build to up. Exhale, roll it back. Downward facing dog. I'm building us up for something. Inhale, come forward, plank. All right, new moon. Let's just lower the knees. Everybody with me there? Rock forward into up dog. Open your throat center. Part of our theme today. And then exhale, rock back, extended child. Just do that twice more. Inhale, coming forward, up dog. Exhale, take it back, extended child's. Good, do it one more round. Make sure, yeah, you're lengthening your neck out of the shoulders, beautiful. Exhale, rock back into extended child's. All right, we have not done this pose in a while. This is a fairly new pose for me, actually. Inhale, you're coming forward. Now, if you don't want the weight on your wrist right now, you can sit back on your heels to get a viewpoint of where we're going. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be coming down, kind of like Anahatasana, except the arms are coming back. We're resting on the shoulders. The knees pull back. See, there's no weight on the chin. The weight is on the front of the shoulders. And then from here, you can pick up a knee and stack it inside the foot. And then if you do one side, you may want to try the other. It's a form of locust. So I want you to see, yes, when your shoulders are down and tucked kind of in front of your chest, the weight's not going to be on your chin. It may be very, very briefly, but then it transfers to the head of the shoulder bones. That's it, Barb. Yeah, come down. Hands reach back towards the knees, and then the feet lift. That's it.
Is your chin,
That's it, then.
is my face supposed to be touching the floor or not?
Your chin is touching at first to get your arms in place, but once your arms are in place, your knee should be farther back, Renee. Yeah.
Feet is good on.
The knee should still be back more, because they're scrunched in too close to your toes.
Is this the right start?
That's the right start.
Forward.
And then the arms come back, palms down, close to the knees. And then crawl the knees back just a smidge. Yeah, now that you're facing it. You got it. That's it.
Okay. Not super comfortable.
All right, let's go ahead and round it out to cat stretch. We'll revisit that another day. And then roll back into child's pose where you have more of a rounded back and your arms circle around your body, palms open at your feet. Rest down on your brow. Let go in your body. Come into your own inner peace, tranquility, and strength. So anytime I'm learning the yoga pose, I always take it home with me and play around with it. So feel free to do that. So when we revisit it again, you have a little bit more familiarity. But I've been teaching over 20 years, and I just started seeing that pose in the last since the pandemic. So I don't know if it's a really innovative pose or one that kind of died out and it's come back into play, but it's a version of locust. It looks more complicated than it is. But were you being honest with yourself and whether or not you should even be doing it? I came to the workshop yesterday with Bharati, and one woman spoke up and said, I always feel like I don't want to compete with everybody, but everybody's going so much deeper than me. And Debbie made a really good suggestion. She said, just go to the front of the room, that way you don't see anybody else. Let's inhale, extend the arms out in front of us. Rock up to hands and knees. Exhale, let's take downward facing dog. Sliding the fingers apart. Creating space between each vertebra, which requires rooting hands and feet. So on your next in-breath, you can meditationally walk forward, lunge forward, or float through, whatever's in your practice. Coming halfway up to elongate the spine. Exhale, roll down. So So make sure you have some of that core engagement and have strong legs. As you inhale, come up. And then exhale, bring your hands back into the arms. All right, we're gonna do one more flow here. Inhale, sweep the arms to your sides and up. Exhale, palms come together as you hinge from the hips. Keep your belly zipping up. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, roll down. Pausing for a moment to affirm mentally within. Nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back from living, speaking, and expressing my truth. Inhale, let's step the feet back. Pull it. Exhale, come forward. We're going all the way down, slow speed, slow speed, slow speed, until you plummet to the belly. All right, you're gonna create a fist, hiding your thumbs, and place your fist right up underneath that hip crease on either side of the pubic bone. This is gonna give you a little platform that can be helpful. And you're gonna stretch long through your legs and feet, and then lift them up high. Press to the balls of the feet and separate out through the toes. Keep lifting and lengthening, lifting and lengthening, lifting and lengthening. Feel the engagement not only for your legs, but the buttocks and the back region. Keep breathing. Feel free to rest on chin or brow here, but not too much weight if you're on your chin. And then gently lower the feet down. Once you lower the feet down, release your hands from under your body. Flatten them alongside your thighs, palms face down. Lengthen through your leg bones. Keep the tops of the feet glued to the mat. And then inhale, slowly lift head, shoulders, chest. And breathe. Find that safety net with your neck. What angle should you be at? Your body will give you feedback. So are you listening to that feedback? Exhale, let's bring it down. Slip your hands under your shoulders. Push back up. Crawl into tabletop position. Plug down your shins and ankles. Plug down through your palms. Create more structure in your arms, in your legs, in your core. Activate that Ujjayi breath. Strong tabletop position. You should feel almost like you're about to be compelled to go to cat stretch. You're just not rounding your back. All right, we're gonna flip the left hand open and we're gonna loop it underneath the right arm, sinking down into thread the needle pose. So when you're in thread the needle pose, you're gonna want that core hugging in order to stabilize. We're gonna stabilize so that we don't roll out of this pose when we start to balance. Now, I know sometimes we do different things with the right arm. You're probably gonna want that right hand close to the face because of where we're going next. So you can try something different. Now, glance at your right hip. Note if it's leaning too far over to one side or the other. Stack it with precision. And then push down through your left ankle. Slowly lift the right foot off the floor. Extend the leg long. And breathe. Bless you. Excuse me. Powering into that top leg. At the same time, methodically breathe. Exhale, lower the right knee to the ground. Push into the right palm and come up. Okay, so notice your tabletop position here. It's okay if you need this more neutral back, but before we move into the pose, create some stabilization, create a little bit more strength. Activating the core, so when you flip that right hand open, you're gonna thread and loop it underneath the left arm, sinking down towards the right ear. Notice if you started leaning the hips one way or the other, can you stack them over the knees? Enjoy being in the twist first, opening up the back ribs, opening up the intercostals, opening up the back door of the heart. Good, when you're ready, let's push down through the right shin and ankle. Slowly start to lift the left leg and press out to the sole of the foot. Even through the padding below the toes. Balance and breathe. And then slowly descend the left knee back down. Push through the left palm to come back up. All right, we're going to change this up now. So coming into plank. Press back, downward facing dog, unless you want that vinyasa. Yogi's choice, again, meditationally walking, lunging, or floating the feet together to the top of the mat. I used to love to float, now I'm like, yeah, I'll step. Exhale, release. Inhale, coming all the way up. And then exhale, head starts. All right, so we're going to be changing this up here. First thing I want us to do, I want us to step back with the left foot. Once you step back with the left foot, turn that foot so it's basically more aligned or parallel to the short edge side of your mat. Good, now take the right arm, reach it up. If it doesn't strain your neck, see if you can gaze up underneath that right arm up towards one of the ceiling panels. As you exhale, you're going to lunge the right knee, but stack it right over the ankles. You don't have to go super deep. Let the arm reside to the inside of your right shin and flare the left arm skyward, but really activate your back leg. Push down for your back foot. Now use the strength of your legs to come up, straighten the right leg, elevate the right arm, gaze up underneath. Exhale, coming back into that lunge. Arm residing to the inside of the shin, left hand reaching upward. Plug those feet down. Good. Keep the legs strong and inhale, coming back up. Gaze up underneath the right arm. Exhale, final one. See, I would refer to this as a version of side angle, but I know a lot of people that do hot 26. They say this is hot 26 triangle. Inhale, coming up. All right, relax your arms down, spin off your back heel, lunge the front knee. Looks like you're coming into a crescent lunge. Good, elevate your left arm. Rotate your right palm to face out. And when we come down, we're going to cartwheel the left arm to the outside of that front thigh, and the right arm can just reach back behind. There's deeper ways to do this, but we're stopping here today with the new moon. All right, exhale cautiously. Bring the hands down. Step forward. Use the legs to come up. All right, inhale, right foot steps back. And once it steps back, turn that foot, open it up, parallel to the short edge side. Left arm reaches back. Gaze up under. Exhale, lunge the knee. Open out the left palm, set it to the inside of the shin. Open up space for the diaphragm muscle, plug down your back foot. And then again, use your legs to come up, straighten the front leg. Lift the left hand, Lean back, open up your side body. And then exhale, we're gonna open up the other side as we come down, similar to side angle. All right, one more. Cautious with your execution. Exhale, come back. Breathe. Inhale, come up. All right, we're gonna lift off the back heel, lunge the front knee. Find your balance here first. Right arm lifts. Left palm faces outward. Good, and then we'll cartwheel the right arm to the outside of the thigh. Left arm can just reach back behind. Then if you use that arm as leverage to elevate the heart, maybe take a little deeper twist. Maybe that feels good, maybe it doesn't. All right, good. Let's bring the hands down. And we're gonna step it back, lower the knees. Cautiously come to the floor. I'm gonna bring the legs out. All right, I don't have a blanket here, but if you can sit on the edge of a blanket, you can, which would maybe that little pelvic tilt forward. You can also use a bolster, but that can be kind of high. All right, flex your ankles, lift your arms overhead. Exhale, Paschimottanasana. Don't worry about how far you come. You can be anywhere along the way. Days where we can. We should. There might be days where we can't or shouldn't. Dependent on what we're experiencing. Here I'm safe, I'm sound, good things come to me. In peace. Left side comes back. Hands are going to be not too close to the body. Step back from the body. And we're going to bend the knees. Down the feet. We're going to do altar or reverse tabletop. So press the feet. Tuck the lift. And then notice if your shoulder bones are poking up. See if you can roll them back. And spread open through the collarbones. Open through the top of the chest. Find the safety net with your neck. Please don't jackknife it back. Take one more breath. Give a little extra boost upward. And then exhale, slowly bring it downward. Good, slide your legs back out. Sit on that folded blanket if you need it, if that provides more comfort. All right. You're gonna take your right arm behind your back. And it's okay to just be here. But if you can catch your left arm, you can grip a hold of it. Lift up through the sternum, up through the top of the head. And then exhale, turn your gaze over the left shoulder. Breathe. Inhale, rotate and look forward. Exhale, drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. Inhale, head up. And release the right arm. And thread the left arm behind your back. It's okay just to be here. If you want to cup the other arm, you may. But then realign the vertebrae. Create some good posture. And then turn your head right. Gazing perhaps over the shoulder. And keeping the chin more parallel to the floor. And you may even be getting a little tremble through the legs in Dandasana. Keeping the legs active. Inhale, bring the head to center. Exhale, lower the right ear towards the right shoulder. And please don't try to force the head down, just casually lean it to that side. Inhale up. Exhale, remove the arm. Okay, you can have your hair tied up as I did at the base of the neck. You're not going to want that. If it's higher, it can stay. So yours can stay here. So you won't get it. I'm going to give you an option for this. I don't know. I'm getting where I can do shoulder stand and plow, but it's probably not the best thing for me anymore because I've lost the curve in my neck. So I'll demo real quick, but I'm not saying that, okay? If you wanted to go to shoulder stand and come to plow, don't feel like your feet have to go all the way to the floor, even though they might. So you have the option to do that sequence or the option to do this sequence where you're tucking and placing the block for supported bridge. And this is just like this, you're gonna get the benefits just like shoulder stand when you lift your feet off the floor. Even though you're not at that certain angle, it's a lot better for the neck, you know? So sometimes when we go over this slowly, I'll tell us to have 2 or 3 blankets. So it's not a neck stand, it's more of a shoulder stand. But we're running out of time today. So think about the condition of your neck. What is gonna be best for you? Do you want supported bridge waterfall or do you want shoulder stand top? I'll let you choose. But be honest with yourself about where you should be going and what you should be doing. If you're not sure, test the waters, but keep your head stable. And if you're moving into waterfall with a block, please don't angle the legs towards the face. Keep them over the hips or slightly forward of your hips. Forward meaning towards the front leg. You don't have to keep the feet up in waterfall. I know that can get a little tiring. With the energy being lower, it's probably more ideal to be a little bit more restorative. And we do want to conclude our practice with the counter pose for these poses, which will be fish. So if you could please begin your exit out. So if you're on the block, bring the feet down first and then plug the feet down, tuck and lift away from the block, remove it, and roll down. You've been in shoulder stand and plow, really contract your core. Look at that strength, Mark. Wow. Tell she does this weekly. Okay. So fish pose. I would like you guys to sit up for a moment so that you can see the modification in case you don't remember it. Because you may be opposite of me. So I don't go to a chiropractor anymore, but I had to for a little bit. But he told me, he was like, you can do all this all day long and it's going to be great for you. You may be opposite of that. Yeah. You may not be able to do that curve and may need to have more traction. So if that's the case for you, then your fish is going to look like this. The knees are bent, arms up, straight down through your side ribs, roll the shoulders under. And do you see how I'm getting just a slight opening between the chin and the chest? It's nothing dramatic. It's very, very safe with the cervical part of the spine. So you may need that, okay? The other one, the one that's ideal for me, you can sit on your hands, use your arms to lift, and then take the head back. Now, I'm not putting a lot of weight on the head. The weight really is in my seat and is in my arms. So think about your neck, right? We want to think quality of life. So we want to protect our bodies. And if you need a modification, knees bent, arms up to come down by the ribs, fingertips towards the sky. Yep, that's it. Yes, Doug, that was a good adjustment. Yeah, if your feet come together, your toes point like straight if you're in regular fish. With the dramatic. And then, Debbie, if you push your elbows slightly more. There you go. Yep. And then exhale, go ahead and begin your exit out. Wrap your arms lovingly around your knees and hug them in. All right, you guys, that was beautiful. Once you cradle in, we're ready for our Shavasana. On the rare occasion, someone from the next class may open the door. Please know that I'm holding space for you. Determine what it is you would like to practice for your Shavasana today. Whether or not you want to make it restorative. Whether or not you need to make any minor adjustments. Close, rest your eyes. Area we focused on today governs communication, creative expression, listening, finding our voice, speaking our truth. The questions we were posing at the beginning are we being honest with ourselves? Are we really listening to the feedback from the body? The intuition that stems from the heart. So for the next few minutes, stay connected with them. Use the observation of the breath. Slow the mind down. To practice some deep inner listening.
Another deep breath in. Slow, slow breath out. Ready, begin to activate the body in small, gentle ways. All in different positions, so take your time exiting out the pose that you chose. And when you come to one side of your body, like you sit, find your bolster and sit on top of it. Then shimmy, scoot towards the edge. Feel that coming forward. This is easier for the back. I always suggest this before and after practice. May be helpful through the practice. Close the lids, the eyes. We've been ending with Om, dancing together, but I would like us to use the Bija sound for the throat chakra. Just hum, hum. So we'll chant it like hum, but it's hum. All right, let's inhale the arms overhead. Om. If you don't mind really quick, Dick's here. And in case you haven't heard or you're thinking about it, we have a trip to Guatemala, the Guatemala Yoga Retreat. It's right on the lake. It is so picturesque, so beautiful. One of our friends, Raquel, used to own Liberation Nashville. She's been going there. She has done retreats there. She's done teacher training there, and she's going back. Barb, who's here today, does a lot of mission work with her church down in Guatemala. And she's told me for years how awesome it is and how we should plan a retreat there. So that's the place Jen and I chose to go for September. It's going to be September 9th and 16th. We'll be celebrating her birthday while we're there. And it's supposed to have marvelous like spa treatments there. There's a hike at the waterfall. The lake, of course, is right there for us. The rooms are lovely. The food is delicious. I've been in touch with Raquel, and she's giving me tons of things to do in that area. But one thing that we want you to realize that we're going to do that's a little special and makes this one really unique. We're going to be giving back. One of the days that we're on this retreat, it's a week long, we're going to be teaming up and have a contact that someone's put me in touch with. Who's going to get us in touch with either an orphanage or school so that we can give back to the children. I'm hoping maybe we can do some yoga with the children while we're there and then be able to give them some supplies they need. Children can go to school, but they have to have shoes, they have to have pen and paper. It may be as simple as taking things like that. But anyway, we're going to start that process and let you guys know exactly who we're going to be teaming up with for one of those days. And the rest of the time, we're going to be exploring and relaxing and enjoying the lake and spa treatments. And there's a town close by that she mentioned where they give a demonstration of the weaving that they do that's supposed to be spectacular. And then some shopping in that area too. So we'll be getting to a place that's not just isolated. But if you're interested, it's on the new website. All the details are there. You can have a single room, double room, triple room even. If you want to go with a couple girlfriends, it's maybe cheaper for you. But anyway, wanted you guys to know about that. And any other announcements for, is there another workshop coming up? Yours is sold out. Oh, that's right. What was it? Did I miss the one with the JoJo?
That one was supposed to happen Friday.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna end up trying that one again.
Okay. All right. Yeah, learn someone else. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Do another one at the meditation. First of March.
Yeah, because I originally set up for our third, our contact back, he has a concert that day. So we rolled it over to April 2nd. Do you remember that? Yeah. Yeah, that's where you from out, but yeah, I wanted to do it that night, but
Of course, one point, that's what I know.
yeah,
Yeah, and that one's also. Oh, it's because it's